Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about deck number 414, and the new Krenko. Well, 3 mana for a 1-2, of course, whenever he attacks. So it's not deal damage, it's just declared as an attacker, so that's cool. Put a 1-1 counter on it, then create a number of 1-1 red goblin creatures equal to Krenko's power. That's kind of good. Now, granted, they put it on that ability on a power 1 creature, which is fine. We have ways to, tinker with that a little bit. So, I guess first off, that's where I started from. The first card that came into my mind, I'll show you here. I didn't have it. Was Claws of Valakut. +1 for each mountain in a mono red deck. Oh, and it has first strike. Because that's the danger of Krenko is that, well, whenever he attacks, so we're putting him in danger, so we've got to make him big. So I'll admit I kind of went a little crazy on the, I'm going to say Voltron aspect of it, but it's, with Krenko, it's kind of a different scenario. We have to go tall in order to go wide. So, a lot of these are, lightning talons. +3 in first strike. That's pretty decent. Now, I am running good old faithful fire breathing. And because I'm running fire breathing, I have to run the upgrade version. Well, Dragon Mantle. We'll talk about Dragon Mantle in a second since I've already dropped Haze of Rage. Haze of Rage, I think, may be the only buyback storm card in the game. And it don't just work for Krenko, it works for all the goblins he makes too. So late game enough mana, this could be a serious card. But Dragon Mantle is the better fire breathing. Same card, just draws you a card. So why not? Stoneforge Masterwork is a really good card to put on Krenko, because hey. Forebear's Blade. I like Dusk Corona. Can't be blocked by creatures with flying. Samet Sprint. Just a real quick 2-1. And you got Scry. Dynacharge works on him or on the team. Seething Anger. Sure, why not? It's got buyback. A little expensive buyback, but that's fine. Oh, yeah. Always looking for a reason to play Bloodlust. Now, keep in mind, these instants that we are putting on Krenko, we've got to main phase them. Because the trigger happens when he is declared. So, we have to play bad and play our things first and then swing, so our opponents know exactly, how big it is. But that's the upside. We're getting the goblins for it. We might as well give Krenko the Black Blade. Why not? Goblin Warpaint, Bone Splitter, and, the Darksteel Axe, Undying Rage. That's right, even Giant Strength, mainly because I love the art. Yes, there's other versions, and as I get other cards, this Giant Strength will probably go by the wayside, because it's just 2/2. It's no other abilities or anything. But it is a crazy old card. And Burn Bright. Now, Ring of Valkus, not real special, but we don't really get to play with the rings a whole lot, so why not? The biggie, though, is, of course, the Pen and Blade. It just propagates itself. You're talking doubling, just like we're used to Krenko doing, which, by the way, Krenko Mob Boss is an awesome card for this deck, and if you got it, play it. I didn't have it, so I'm not playing it. But, in any deck where we're trying to make the commander big, sure wouldn't hurt if we had a, way to give it effect. So let's look at these. Well, here, let's look at our mana first, right? So, tried to use as many mana creatures as possible, simply because we don't have a whole lot of creatures in the deck. We got the Palladium Mirror, the Iron Mirror, and the Plague Mirror. as our mana. But I'm trying out this new mana geode. I kind of like it. Now, granted, it has limited applications in monocolor. I'll grant you that. But it is a mana rock that scries. Mono red needs all the help it can get, and I don't have a lot of other ways, you know. But I think the geode will be really good in a 2-3 color deck. Of course, we're running the Mana Geyser, Brightstone Ritual. There you go. Each goblin in play, and then the kind of the non-tribal version in Battle Hymn. Our whopping card draw is Tormenting Voice, Wild Guess, Outpost Siege, Light Up the Stage. Now, let's look at some goblins. So the idea, I didn't exactly go goblin tribal, but since Krenko is a goblin and he does make goblins, a lot of the cards just kind of, included themselves. I like the Surgeon, the ability to sacrifice a token to regenerate our commander. That seems like something I want to do. The Lookout, you can sack a token to plus your team, which is, +2, that's big game. To Bushwhacker, similarly. Now, the Prospector, I like the option of getting the red mana to just continue. Yeah. Now, here's a non-goblin. Just because of I'm not sure if it's actually worth it or not, the 4 mana. It doesn't jive with any of the goblin synergies that are in the deck, so I don't know. As I get more, if I had a goblin general, it would just be here instead of this. But now the Siege Gang Commander works a couple different ways. It's a goblin, but it also gives us an outlet to sack those because it's going to happen. We're gonna go wide, and we're gonna go up against that Ghostly Prison deck or the Propaganda or both, and we are not going to be able to swing. But typically, by the time that lock happens, some damage has been done, and you can just about finish them off with a Siege Gang Commander and a field full of tokens. Sledder. Oh, if we just need to be big, or if we're attacking under a bridge, or we don't. Typically, if we're attacking under a bridge, then we got bigger problems anyway. But sack a token to make your commander bigger. Love this goblin. He doesn't see enough love. All your red creatures have first strike. That's pretty sweet. Of course, Reckless One is going to, and that's kind of real close to the same as Horde of Boggarts. Then we have our champions, as it were. +1 in Mountain Walk off the King. The Trash Master gives us +1 and sack a goblin, destroy an artifact. That's big game too. I like that. Of course, the War Chief is going to make Krenko cheaper when you have to recast him because they are going to kill him. And then the other chieftain, haste and 1/1. So let's look at some of the randomness. Of course, I'm playing with Goblin War Drums. It fits the theme and it's good. It's natural evasion. Quest for the Goblin Lord. This is not hard to turn on. And, it's a 1 mana +2. Jaya. Notice she is with the enchantments because a lot of these uncommon planeswalkers are, in my mind, pretty much take up enchantment slots. They really do, because in Commander, are we really, when we read this card, what part grabs us? What part makes us want to play it? It ain't dealing 2 damage, I promise you that. It's her ability. So that's why I've got her with the enchantments. And you know what? Little goblin tokens are red sources, so that's sweet. Goblin Shrine. Sure, why not? I'm playing a Blood Sun. Just because. Now, Blood Sun does not turn off. It ain't Blood Moon. But let's face it, it's what I've got. And it does shut off. Now, I'm not playing with Valakut. If I had a Valakut, I wouldn't be running Blood Sun. Yeah. The only reason why I'm not running the Valakut is I don't have it either. But when I procure a Valakut, it will replace Blood Sun in the deck. For sure. Magister's Veto. White and blue creatures encompasses a whole lot of decks. Now, I'm not running like the flash fire stuff that, destroys and hates and whatnot, but Magister's Veto is pretty strong because, number one, we don't want Krenko to die. And, we'd like to get in with some combat damage too with our army of goblins. And if we can't, we'll just pitch them all to the Goblin Bombardment and be good with it. Oh, wow. Some of these are out of order. Reckless Charge, of course, is a pump. Trumpet Blast is not bad because it pumps your whole team. Relentless Assault. Now, I can see Krenko being a heavy take an extra combat step deck. I use this one because it's what I had and because it is an attack trigger. But Gravatic Punch, there's a possibility our commander is going to be really, really large. Now, here's the beautiful part. Incidentally, we're trying to get our commander big so that we get more tokens, so that we can do more token goblin shenanigans. But as a byproduct, our commander's getting big and attacking. So I don't know that we're going to get real far with the tokens before we start killing players with commander damage. That's what made me think of the punch here. It was like, hey, you mean I can just bite somebody? That's the terminology that I'm using. Y'all know what fight is. It's two creatures that deal damage. But a bite, I can have my creature bite a player, and it has jumpstart. Whoa. Of course, I'm running a Goblin Grenade. There are times when you just need to sack a Goblin, and deal 5 damage. Fling, same thing. Red Elemental Blast. Man, Cyclonic Rift is this deck's enemy. I should probably be running Red Elemental Blast and the Ice Age one as well. Mob Justice, same thing. Just hits a player. Goblin War Strike. And our 2 non-basic lands, Rogue's Passage and Memorial to War. Now, that is what I have got for Krenko, deck number 414. I want to take a minute to thank all the patrons. Thank y'all so much. You've gotten really, really active lately, and I do appreciate it. Thank everybody for watching. But I believe right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.